The frost clung to the windowpanes of the old ranch house like ghosts reluctant to fade, and Harlan Whitaker, at 42, wiped it away with a calloused palm, staring out at the endless Wyoming plains where the wind carved invisible scars into the earth. He'd built this life alone after the fever took his wife, Lena, 10 years back, leaving him with nothing but echoes in the rafters and a herd of cattle that never talked back. The ad for a maid had been a whim, posted in the Laramie Gazette after his last housekeeper fled the isolation, muttering about ghosts. Strong hands for hard work, quiet disposition preferred, it read. No one answered for months, until her letter arrived. Mr. Whitaker, I seek honest labor. I come with my boy, Elias, age 7. We ask little, room and board suffice. Sincerely, Nora Hale. Simple words, but they stirred something in him, a flicker of companionship in the void. Now, as the stagecoach rumbled up the rutted drive on a gray November morning in 1873, Harlan straightened his shirt, his heart thudding with a nervousness he hadn't felt since courting Lena. The door creaked open, and out stepped Nora, 30-ish, with dark hair pinned severely and eyes like shadowed wells, her woolen dress mended at the hems. Beside her, a boy with the same wary gaze clutched a burlap sack, his small frame swallowed by an oversized coat. But it was the way Elias flinched at the coachman's shout that stopped Harlan cold, a subtle recoil, like a deer scenting a wolf. Welcome, Harlan said, voice rougher than the gravel underfoot. Nora nodded, murmuring thanks, but as she turned to lift her trunk, her sleeve rode up, revealing a bruise blooming purple on her wrist, fingerprints etched in faded blue. Harlan's stomach twisted. Who had marked her so? And why did her eyes dart away, as if the secret were a storm she couldn't outrun? Inside, the house smelled of damp wood and solitude, the kitchen table scarred from years of solitary suppers. Nora moved with quiet efficiency, unpacking a few tin plates and a worn Bible, while Elias hovered in the doorway, eyes fixed on the floor. Harlan cleared his throat, offering coffee from the pot on the stove. Boy needs shoes, he said, glancing at Elias's bare ankles peeking from threadbare trousers. No, but the way Elias shadowed her every step, as if she were his only shield, hinted at shadows deeper than grief. Dusk fell early, the sky bruising to indigo, and as Harlan returned with an armload of logs, he caught a glimpse through the window, Nora kneeling before Elias, rolling up his sleeve to reveal a similar mark on the boy's arm, her fingers gentle as she applied a salve from a small jar. Elias whimpered, "It hurts less now, Ma." Nora shushed him, voice a whisper, "Hush, love. No one here will hurt us." Harlan froze, axe slipping from his grip. Hurt? By whom? The question burned as he entered, the door banging louder than intended. Nora startled, yanking the sleeve down, her face paling. "Supper's near ready, Mr. Whitaker." But Elias's eyes met Harlan's, wide, trusting yet terrified, and in that moment, Harlan knew, this wasn't just a job. It was a sanctuary they sought, and he was its unwitting gatekeeper. Supper was beans and cornbread, eaten in strained silence broken only by Elias's tentative questions about the ranch. "Do the cows talk, mister?" Drawing a rare chuckle from Harlan. Nora watched them, a soft curve to her lips that lit her face like dawn on frost. After, as Elias dozed by the fire, she cleared plates, her movements precise but shadowed. Harlan couldn't hold back. "Those marks, on you, on the boy. Who did that?" Nora's hands stilled in the basin, water dripping like tears. "My late husband, sir." Drink took him, but his temper lingered. The confession came flat, as if repeated too many times to wound afresh. Harlan's fists clenched under the table, another man, another grave injustice in a land that bred them like weeds. "You're safe." Morning brought chores and a fragile rhythm. Harlan showed Elias the barn, the boys awe at the horses, "They're like giants, Pa, Mister." Easing the knot in Harlan's chest. Nora mopped floors with vigor, her limp from an old injury barely noticeable, but as she reached for a high shelf, her dress caught, revealing more bruises, faded yellow on her ribs. Harlan turned away, heat rising in his neck, but the sight fueled a quiet fury. By noon, a rider arrived, old Tom from town, his mule lathered. "Harlan, got news. That new mate of yours, Nora Hale? Folks say she's runnin' from somethin'. Husband ain't dead, just wanted." Harlan's blood chilled. Wanted? For what? Tom leaned in, voice low. "Abuse," they whisper. "Beat the boy bad, skipped town. Bounty hunters sniffin' around." Suspense tightened like a noose. Had Nora lied? Or was the town spinning yarns? Harlan paid Tom for supplies and sent him off, confronting Nora in the kitchen. "Truth, now. Is he alive?" Her face crumpled, tears carving tracks in dust. "He might be. I left him for dead after he came at Elias with a knife. Fled east, but fear follows." Twist, she pulled a crumpled wanted poster from her apron, her face sketched crudely, "Reward for assault and child endangerment." Harlan stared, the date recent. "You protected your boy." Nora shook her head. "Law don't see it that way. They'll take him, hang me." Harlan's resolve hardened, he'd seen too many innocents swing from bad law. Whispers swelled like a prairie fire. Riders passed the ranch more often, eyes lingering on the chimney smoke. Elias sensed the storm, clinging to Harlan during lessons on roping calves. "You won't let em take Ma, will ya?" The boy's trust pierced Harlan, stirring a protectiveness he'd thought buried with Lena. Nora's nights grew restless, her silhouette pacing by candlelight, and Harlan found himself lingering after supper, sharing stories of the trail to ease her fears. Love simmered slow, a banked fire, her laugh at his tales of greenhorn cowboys, his hand steadying hers during a midnight storm when thunder woke Elias. One evening, as snow dusted the eaves, Harlan mended a fence while Nora gathered eggs. A shadow fell, 3 men on horseback, badges glinting false under duster coats. Dawn broke cold, the town square filling with curious folk, miners, shopkeepers, the preacher with his Bible. Harlan and Nora arrived, Elias hidden with a neighbor, her chin high despite trembling hands. The judge, a crooked saloon owner, banged a gavel. Nora Hale, charged with assault. Witnesses? The bounty leader stepped up, spinning a tale of a battered husband, a runaway killer. Whispers rose, eyes on Nora like vultures. Harlan's blood boiled, this wasn't justice, it was theater. Twist, he strode forward, voice booming. "I got witnesses too." The crowd hushed as he produced letters, Nora's, detailing the beatings, timestamps matching the postmarks. "This woman's no criminal. She's survivor." Gasps rippled, the judge faltered. But the leader drew, snarling, "Shut your mouth, rancher." Chaos erupted, shots fired, the crowd scattering. Harlan tackled the man, fists flying, Nora grabbing a fallen pistol to cover him. In the melee, the judge confessed. Bribed by the husband, alive and lurking in Denver. The bounty hunters fled, tails between legs, the town stunned into silence. Harlan's choice echoed, he'd rallied neighbors, sharing Nora's story in hushed meetings, turning whispers to outrage. The judge was ousted, a fair sheriff sworn in. Nora's name cleared, the husband arrested weeks later on warrants of his own. Love ignited fully then, Harlan proposing under a harvest moon, Elias cheering as they wed in the ranch yard. Their home filled, Elias growing strong, a baby girl born the next spring, laughter chasing shadows. But suspense lingered, a letter arrived months later, from the husband in irons, "You stole my boy. I'll rot knowing that." Harlan burned it, pulling Nora close. "He's ours now."